Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. In this one we are covering Minecraft Live, which has just taken place today. This is the online streaming event where Mojang reveal their plans for the future of Minecraft itself, and this includes the 1.19 update, which will be known as the Wild update. There was also the Minecraft mob vote, where we got to vote in a new mob to the game. This was between the Glare, the LA, and the Copper Golem. And we'll find out at the end of this video which one of those won the mob vote. But first of all, let's get into all of the Minecraft news. And let's get started with the Caves and Cliffs Part 2 update. It's going to be released within a month or two, so December the 16th at the very latest, meaning it'll be ready for the holiday season and Christmas. Now, it'll be safe to update your old worlds to this version because of the biome blending technology that they've added. This is also going to expand worlds vertically, with the bedrock at the bottom being removed and giving you access to all of those caves down at the new bottom of the world. Here's actually an example they shared with us of a world being transitioned from 1.17 into 1.18, and you can see how the game will generate new caves in that space below bedrock at the bottom of your world. Sadly though, this update isn't going to include the bundle item, and it's not going to have the deep dark biome with the Warden and the Skulk sensor. Turns out this stuff is much more ambitious than we realised, and Mojang is going to need more time to develop it, as it includes these deep dark cities underground. This is going to be a part of 1.19, and we're going to see more of this later in the video. There is some other good news for this update though. It comes with massive parity between Bedrock and Java Edition, with the worlds being practically identical between the two versions, which means making sharing your worlds and experiences even easier, as now those seeds you can use on one version will be the same on the other. And also in tune with this, it was also announced that Xbox Game Pass will include both versions together for PC players, so you'll get access to Java and to Bedrock Edition. And for Java players who are migrating to a Microsoft account, you'll be given access to the Bedrock version of the game, and Bedrock players will get given access to the Java version of the game. So there's a sense of unification in terms of access to both versions of this game which exist on the PC platform. And another short note before we get to the 1.19 stuff: if you're a Minecraft Dungeons player, there is good news. All of the DLC has been completed, and they're now introducing what are called seasonal adventures, where you can earn adventure points and complete weekly challenges. The first season is going to be known as the Cloudy Climb, and along with this they're introducing a new game mode called the Tower. It's going to be a single player game where you progress through a series of floors inside this tower. And so with all of that Minecraft news out of the way, this is it, the Wild update for 1.19. It's going to be released in 2022, with the Deep Dark included. But sadly, archaeology is not going to be a part of this update. That's been pushed back for a future version of Minecraft. So the focus of this update is on the Deep Dark cities, and also an overhaul of a couple of biomes. One of those is the birch forest, which we didn't see much of beyond this concept art that they showed, and the other one is the swamp, which gets referred to as the Mangrove Swamp. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a replacement or an additional biome alongside the original swamp. And if you remember, a few years back we actually saw this in the biome vote, the Mangrove Swamp, and it included chests with boats and frogs, which are both going to be added in this update. So here is our preview of the Mangrove Swamp. It is quite an impressive sight with these large trees. You'll probably notice that they have their own new leaf blocks, but down at the bottom where the roots are, those look similar to leaf blocks as well, as in they're transparent but they've got like a brown texture. That'll be an interesting block to collect and use for other things, I imagine. You also probably notice inside this biome there is a different coloured block down there at the bottom level. This is actually a mud block, and in this clip it looks a lot better. It's created with dirt, and then clicking on it with a water bottle, so water turns the dirt into mud. Now when it's on top of dripstone like you see here, the dripstone then drips the water out of it and turns it into clay, making both these resources renewable. So then we have the sapling for this tree, which is rather unique. As you saw there, it was planted underwater. It can be planted on regular blocks as well. I don't know if it will then grow into a tree, but certainly when it's in water, it grows into a tree like this one has done right here. What's unique about these saplings is that I don't think you get them from breaking the leaf blocks, but they actually grow on the leaf blocks themselves. So with a new tree comes a new wood type, that is the mangrove wood, and you are thinking what I am thinking, that looks way too much like jungle wood. Even the log has like the same rotation and a similar texture, although it is slightly nicer. And then we also have this new gorgeous texture right here. This is mud bricks. I'm guessing it's probably crafted out of mud the same way stone bricks are crafted out of stone. And we don't know much more about this block other than how it looks, and to be fair, it looks like a gorgeous building block I think a lot of players will like. Then we have Fireflies, and I'm going to say this, they look like they should be particle effects more than entities, because that would be a crazy amount of entities to add to your world. But whatever they are, they look cool, and look at this. Frogs! Frogs will eat the fireflies, and these frogs, they look amazing. And we've actually been treated to quite a bit of information and footage of these frogs in action. I love the animations, I love the way that they jump, and one of the things that they like to do is jump to lily pads and big drip leaves. Now I'm hoping that that'll be something they do really frequently, so maybe you could use it to manipulate their AI and have some fun with controlling them. But here you can see there's also going to be tadpoles, and these are of course going to grow up to become frogs. But here's where things get interesting, because it depends on what temperature of the environment they grow up in. And here you can see that tadpole just growed into a different variant of the frog based on what biome it is in, which is super cool. This also makes it one of the first mobs where the baby version of it isn't just a smaller sized version of that mob, it's a different thing. It's a tadpole, and based on where it grows, it will turn into a different type of frog. Here you can see the tropical one, which just looks so cool. I actually think these look really awesome. So now it's time for maybe the best part of this update, the deep dark cities, and I'm including the sound from the video that was streamed because the atmospheric music included in this was just wonderful. The sound design here is really cool. However, I don't know if this was just a track that was added for the video. Maybe it could be a jukebox record obtained from this area, but best of all, I think if you heard this when you were in this area, that would be stunning. Now these deep dark cities are absolutely massive in scale, and basically they're like a ruined civilization deep in the bottom of the Minecraft world that's become overrun with this new set of skulk blocks. And of course it's also home to the Warden as well. All of these things are adding up to make an amazing update, and I can see why Mojang have pushed this back, because they've clearly put more and more ideas into this, and it's starting to look like something really, really special. Now the devs also explained that we have this block called the Skulk Catalyst, and what this actually does is it spread the other skulk blocks you see on the ground when a mob dies, and the amount that it spreads is based on the amount of XP that the mobs drop. Fascinating mechanics. It also tells a big story. The more skulk that you see, the more mobs must have died there, which is kind of crazy. Now using the hoe, which is the tool of choice, you can break some of these blocks to get XP, and you can also use Silk Touch to pick any of them up and then use them for other uses and decorative things elsewhere in the world. There's also this other block called the Skulk Shrieker. I'm going to show you a bit of the audio for that in a moment. It creates a darkness effect, and then it makes a crazy sound as well. So this is the clip with that Skulk Shrieker, and yeah, there it is, making some cool particle effects, and it's about to make this noise. It's just did the darkness effect, so I'm going to be quiet now. Listen to this, it's terrifying. So on that theme of amazing sound design, we're now going to experience an encounter with the Warden, and I'm not going to say a lot here because the sound design is amazing. So opening that chest activated the Skulk Shrieker, and there's the darkness effect, and wait for it, you're going to see a tiny clip of the Warden here coming out of the ground. Let's pay close attention. Oh, there it is. You see like a frame or two of it. So the Warden is going to come up from underground and then seek out the player. Notice the player is in full netherite gear here, because it's going to take just 2 hits to kill them. Oh, this looks so terrifying. Okay, we can't complain about this being delayed for too long, because it's just looking stunning. I feel like I can hear a heartbeat as well going on here. Now, I think the snowball there was trying to create a vibration somewhere else to distract it, but trying to get away from this thing just isn't working for this player. They do have some golden apples, but I don't think they try to use them. And here we go. Oh, it's all over. So I went ahead and isolated those few frames where you see the Warden coming out from underground. It looks terrifying. You don't get to see the full animation though. I feel like Mojang are deliberately teasing us there, but it definitely looks terrifying. So swiftly moving on, we have the boat with a chest, and we got Alex and Steve here throwing down their boats with chests, and this obviously can be used to move items around. Now the burning question you're probably wondering is if they interact with redstone, and the confirmation is yes, these will actually interact with hoppers, probably both putting items in and taking them out as well, making these very useful. So I hope you didn't forget about the mob vote. The mob that won was the LA, and I also found a thread on Reddit from one of the developers of Mojang clarifying some information about this mob. The player gives it an item, then it will seek similar items in the area and bring them back. It keeps the item originally given to it by the player until the player takes it away. The drop-off point for collected items may be the player or a note block. There will be a way to assign note blocks to an LA. And the LA does not break blocks, open containers, steal from other players, or generate items out of thin air. The LA will be able to pick up non-stackable items, therefore allowing new types of automated sorting systems for item types that cannot be properly sorted yet. So all of that sounds good to me, and I think the best mob actually won out in the end here. And on that note, I've covered everything I wanted to in this video, so if you are interested in catching the development of 1.19 and Minecraft news and all of that stuff, make sure you're subscribed as I do cover it here on this channel, and share this video with your Minecraft friends so they're up to speed on all the new info that Mojang have shared with us. That's it from me, thanks for watching and I'll see you later, bye bye.